Hello, 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 everybody. It's so good to be here, and you're all welcome to this session. My name is Mercy Akamo. I am the head and I am the head of content and innovation at Bella Ninja Weddings, and I am so excited to be the moderator of this session. Um, we will be having this amazing session with some incredibly fantastic digital media wedding brands and also planners and photographers on the African continent. So right now, before I even continue speaking further, I think it's best to first of all tell you what we'll be discussing today. We'll be talking about Africa, the perfect wedding destination, and pretty much what does Africa offer the wedding industry. So yeah, I'll do a very quick introduction. So I don't know if I'll start from my right or my left. So I'll just start from how I'm actually seeing everybody on my screen. So the first person we have here is Zenova Davies. She is from Blue Olive Events from South Africa. Hi.
Hello.
So good to have you here. I also have Shella. She is from Burundi Weddings. Hi. Good to have you here.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. And we have Abby. Abby is from Photography by Abby, all the way from like Ghana. Actually, from my understanding, he's kind of like based in different parts of the world. But let me just say a tiny bit of intro about what Abby does. Not only is he an amazing photographer, he is also the international liaison for Ghana Weddings and also the admin for Africa Weddings Network. So, Abby, hi. Good to have you here. Then we also have Carol. Hi, Carol. Carol.
Hey.
Hi. Carol is from Classy Zim Weddings in Zimbabwe. And I'm really happy to have every single one of you here. And the plan is for this conversation to be very chilled because you're actually going to be hearing from experts from from the continent of Africa, bringing in their various perspectives. So if you have any question oh, hi, Sabri.
Hello.
Good to have you join us. Hi. I was just doing like a very quick introduction. So let me just also introduce you. So Sabrin is from Rwanda Weddings. Can you hear me? Okay. So awesome. Can you hear me? Okay. I was actually hearing myself. However, okay, that's good. Okay, so I was just saying that if you have any questions as we're speaking, so please feel free to send us the questions via the chat box or the discuss tab on the screen. Okay, so Africa is blessed with the most gorgeous locations and the most dreamy vibes in the world. And no, I'm not biased. It's the truth. It's the truth. And and we're also blessed with the most hardworking people around the world, like talented, hardworking, super creative. I mean, just check out some of the wedding media brands that are actually represented here. Just go on their Instagram page only, and you will see, how beautiful the work from the wedding vendors we actually showcase, and even from the planners we also have, and also from the photographers we also have it. You would actually understand that the content is blessed in great measures. So one thing I actually want to say is that as a result of the work I do at Bella Ninja Weddings, I have seen weddings and honeymoon locations and pictures, everything from this content, and honestly all I can say is usually I'm always like, okay, oh wow, where is this again? So it's all like we bring in different vibes, and I'm always very happy to have to spotlight these through the platform that I actually work with. One thing I would add is that due to coronavirus, COVID-19, we are going to see quite a lot of like people, getting married or having their honeymoons on the continent, as opposed to maybe like traveling, out of the continent. So I feel like this panel is apt because you'll be hearing from industry experts that would shed light on some very interesting questions that we actually have. So without further ado, I'll just jump straight to the questions, and so we can actually start our discussions. So my first question is how has the wedding industry changed in Africa over the years? And I think I want to actually direct this particular question to Carol. I know she's been running classes in weddings for some time now. However, I feel like she also has like the understanding of what the industry has been, even watching it from a bystander before she then entered into the space fully. Hi, Carol, the floor is yours.
Hello. Hi, everyone. And thanks, everyone that's tuned in and watching. Thank you so much, East African Wedding Show, for inviting me onto this platform, amazing platform, alongside amazing people. Thank you so much. So grateful. How has the wedding industry evolved? Is that right? The African wedding industry evolved over the years. That's the question, yes?
Yes.
Just to make sure I got it right. Okay. Well, look, it's been very interesting, actually. I think our industry, like in terms of our African wedding industry, has moved from being very private in terms of just within our own, countries, or just within our own space, like the traditional, more traditional type, and just being more closed off, to now being a more global affair. And obviously that's a lot of thanks to the internet. It's become more of a glamorous thing. It's become more of something that you want to shout about on Bella Niger weddings. It's become something, it's really evolved into being more than just your immediate family affair, to being something that you want the whole world almost like involved in. But then beyond that, we've also found that the wedding industry within Africa has contributed a massive deal in terms of the economy with respect to our different nations. Now we have, we obviously, like, for example, like if I speak for Zimbabwe, right? Zimbabwe is obviously a country that a lot of our citizens now we've got over a third of our population has actually moved into the diaspora. So you have a situation whereby the diaspora plays such a significant role in terms of actually, like, the price, because obviously the price of each wedding, you're looking at the average Zimbabwean wedding about 50. You're looking at about coming in from the diaspora, from Zimbabwe, people that are coming through to get married, and then now putting to work what they've seen overseas and bringing it into Zim. That's 50K each wedding into Zimbabwe, and making a massive impact on our economy as a whole. So you're finding a situation where our wedding industry is now actually playing a big role in terms of the economy of our nation, in terms of the money that's actually coming in, the foreign currency that it's generating, and the impact that it's having. So the glamorization, so to speak, of the African wedding has had such a massive impact on, the local economy, which is, I think, such a plus. So some people might think that, we've over glamorized weddings, but I don't think so at all. If anything, really, it's actually begun to show us and showcase what the different African nations have to, like, if not for weddings, to be honest, most of us would not really know much about how, about the Nigerian culture, because, or like the Ghanaian culture, or like the, Egyptians, etc. But then because of weddings, really, because weddings is the one thing we all have in common, weddings is the one thing that really helps us, that really brings us together, because we all love things, we all love to celebrate. And so kind of seeing that on a global platform, like on digital media, has made Africa pretty much so small, and has put Africa even on the world stage in terms of being able to compete with bigger weddings that are happening globally.
Thank you so much, Kara. Yeah, in terms of the money that it's coming back to the continent, you are like 100% right. Like, that's so true. I actually would love to hear Abi's perspective on this, because, not only is he the international liaison for Ghana weddings, he also is a photographer that has captured quite a lot of bride and grooms from this side of the continent. And it would be great to actually, share your perspective on how the entire, evolution has actually kind of happened from the times when you started and, up till now.
Okay. Yeah, hi. Thank you very much for inviting me. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I agree with everything Carol said. I started taking photographs in across the West Africa region, going back about almost 20 years now. And the interesting thing is that, as Carol mentioned earlier, that there was a lot of things going on in Africa that we were not aware of. And it's only until the advent of things like Facebook, Instagram, and all these other online sharing apps has brought it to the forefront. Because I remember very specifically, okay, yeah, take it up to mommy. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, oh, yeah, she forgot it. Okay, go and give it to mommy, and she'll give you a sweet. Come on, go. Okay, take it upstairs. Sorry. When he knows that I'm on the phone, that's when he does that.
Hello, I've got the red.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
I
cute.
feel like that happens to the best of us. So like that's like our regular life right now. So that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So before Abby comes back in, I don't know if Zenobia or Sheila wants to just touch a bit on that.
Yeah, so I also agree with what everybody said regarding weddings in Africa, that it's becoming our own now. And we are showing more and more to the world what we can do and what we can bring to the table. I think we contribute like $3 billion to the economy. I mean, the wedding industry is like a $20 billion industry, and we contribute to that. So, and it's growing year on year, and we are showing the world that, listen, Africa is a new playing field for weddings. So we can have better weddings here as well. I mean, like, we do things out of the box. We have great entertainment. We have great cultures as well. A lot of people are also using our culture in their weddings. Like, say, for instance, you coming from the UK or from the US. They like to use our culture as well, like little things, like probably the shwe on the tables, or maybe bringing some food dishes that will give the guests a sense of what we can offer.
Mercy has disappeared.
Yeah. I don't know, Sheila, if you want to add on to that.
Okay, I think she's back.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Abby, do you want to just conclude on what you were saying?
Yes, and I'm very sorry about that. I've tried to.
No. It happens to the best of us.
Okay. Yes. So, like I was saying before, so what the trend I've noticed over the 20-year period is that since the advent of Instagram and Facebook, it's made the sharing of ideas a lot more accessible now. Now it makes it easier for people to. What's happening in as a bride, you have to contact them, they send you pictures, and then obviously you're trying to brainstorm with somebody using visual pictures, and you don't get a clearer view. But what technology has allowed us to do now is that sometimes when brides call me and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a remote island to get married. Do you have any ideas?" We can literally just send our people across West Africa looking for remote locations for a bride and show them videos live. And then they can then ask questions. And then from that point, they'll be able to say, okay, I like location A instead of location B, C, or D. So that's one of the things that the technology has helped us to do. The other interesting thing, again, because of the presence of majority of these vendors and venues and locations being online, it also means that data is becoming more available. So because of this data becoming more available, it makes it easier for someone because I'm a photographer and I'm also a data manager. So it also makes it easier at trends and look at what are the trends are and make decisions based on those trends. So a very good example, across West Africa now, I know that the peak periods for weddings in West Africa is from October to January. And then in February, it goes down a little bit. It picks up again during the Easter time, either March or April. And then after March and April, it literally goes quiet again until October again. Let's say September onwards to that period. So my whole thing about this whole new industry that's emerging is that we now need to learn how to use that information and data as our lobbying and buying power. And I think we can go a little bit into that later. I don't want to touch on that for now, but I think we should be able to, because think about it this way. Imagine you're an event planner and you order, let's say, flowers. And you know that between October and January, you're going to be blocked out with wedding and you're ordering flowers from Holland or South Africa or whatever. Imagine if in Ghana or Nigeria, all these countries, we're able to put together our resources under one association and make bookings under that one association. Then you have lobbying power, you see. So these are some of the things that we need to start looking at collectively to influence our industries in the right direction.
Very true. Very, very, very true. Thank you so much, Abby, for that perspective. Thank you so much. And you're actually absolutely right. I have nothing to remove or add. So I feel like right now, this is the right time to jump into the next question. And this question will be directed at Sheila and also Zenobia, just because of that vibe of bringing in South Africa and also from the Burundi perspective. So this question is majorly around what does Africa have to offer as a destination for weddings? So I'll start with Sheila and then Zenobia would come in.
Right. So when we are looking at Africa as a continent, we know that it's very rich in its settings. When we are looking at, look at your holiday resorts. That can easily be translated into a wedding destination. Yes. So I feel as though in terms of what does Africa have to offer, the number one thing that really catches my personal eye is the destinations in which we have our weddings, right? The second thing for me that really gauges me when it comes to weddings is the culture. And I'm not too sure if it was Carol who touched on it, but because we are from different spaces, say I'm from Burundi and I live in South Africa right now. If I were to marry someone from South Africa, the fusion of those two weddings is going to be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's a part of Burundi Weds, and Burundi Weds aims at just promoting beautiful weddings, right? And yes, we are no experts, so we're just here to make everybody shine and literally glorify each and every single Burundian wedding we've come across. And the one trend we've seen is culture is such an authentic thing. And it really calls people into it. I noticed that sometimes weddings from other continents have African flavor. And I'm like, but there's no African in that mix, And I think that's how we drag people into the conversation, by having the culture and the landscape of Africa present itself as a wedding destination. I'm based in South Africa, so just to give you examples from this side, Cape Town has various places, We are looking at Mpumalanga having various places as well, that in which you can host. I know that Limpopo has places that not a lot of people explore, but there are some places in which you can explore that side. So for me, it would have to definitely be culture and landscape. Those two for me are very important.
I agree with Sheila. What don't we have to offer is probably the question that we should be asking. We've, like she said, Cape Town is the, we have Botswana offering beautiful safari weddings. Namibia is also coming up now with the weddings in the desert as well. So the question is what don't you want, I think, would be easier to answer than actually what do you want, because we have so much to offer. And then again, with the culture, we can incorporate everybody's culture into everything. We do the traditional Zulu dancing for our clients. We do the choirs as well. traditional choirs. So there is so much that our continent can offer everybody. It's actually limitless at this point in time. I mean, I don't think there's anyone in the world that parties better than us, honestly. So that right.
It's true.
Exactly. So if you want to entertain your guests and entertain them properly, come to Africa. That's the best way you can do it. So that's what I've got to add to this. Like,
You
just
actually, yeah,
don't need to do everything for you. We've got
yeah.
everything already
Mhm.
as well.
You are so right. I mean, we have the music, we have the food, we have the wedding vendors, we have the locations for your honeymoon, and also for the wedding. Like, if you want to get married anywhere, you're actually absolutely right. I can see Carol like saying, I want to add something.
I'm itching because this is like my passion. You know what I mean? No, I was just holding myself. And when you asked that question, I was like, yes. I'm very, very passionate about this because I am such a firm believer. Honestly, Africa, oh my gosh. See, I'm throwing some Shona in there for you. It's okay. Africa just has it. You understand? Like I was sharing with everyone yesterday. I obviously, like, I've been living in Australia the last 17 years, and I was very amazed, obviously, being in that space. Obviously, Australia is pretty much a continent, but it's a country. But each state pretty much runs itself like its own country. But yet, obviously, because it's one country, everyone's so united. Yet you're very proud with your unique states, and each state has so much to offer by way of tourism, etc., right? And even almost like culture of each state. But though you've got the typical Aussie banter, but you've got your different each state is its own. Do you know what I mean? Like, people from Western Australia, the Tassies, the Queenslanders, and one of the things that I love, that I've learned and I've taken out of my experience in Australia, is their sense of love for Aussiness. Do you know what I mean? Like, it might be a continent, might be massive enough to be like, it's big enough to be a continent. Like, it'll take me, like, as long as it takes me to go from here to, Ghana, it's me going to Perth from Brisbane, so it's that massive, yet it's small enough for it to be one. And I kind of see Africa in the same light, and it's like in the same way as well. Like, like in Australia, whilst one place it's like snowing, literally snowing, snow-capped mountains and everything. In another place, it's blazing hot. It's like you're in Lagos, you understand? Because it's sitting on the equator. And you've got some places where it's completely hot, nice white white sand beaches. Then the other places, it's like a rainforest. So it's like no matter what you feel like during the year, I just feel like a break, and you just fly to the next part. You've got a completely different atmosphere. And I just think to myself, man, like the way Australians barely travel, like Australians hardly travel. Like I should have gotten the statistics, but in terms of traveling outside of Australia, because there's really no need. You'll meet like, you might have in a group of like 10 people, 10 Australians, right? You'll probably have like 2 that have passports, because it's like they've just never had a need. It's all in Australia, mate. So it's all there. They've just got this Aussie pride that, like, why do I need to go fair income? Like, why do I need to go anywhere else? Because it's all here. And I just wish to God that we had that for Africa. I'd love a bride that'll say, I'm gonna have my bridal hens. When I'm thinking of my bridal hens, we're gonna go to Zanzibar, or we're gonna go to Egypt, or we're gonna go wherever. Even Morocco is actually a part of Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna, we'll have our hens there. Then we'll have like my bridal shower there. Then we'll have like the actual wedding, part 1. In fact, we'll do the Indian style. We'll have part 1 in Cape Town, Then we'll have part 2, the after party at Vic Falls in Zimbabwe, there's so much that we have to offer, and you have the opportunity, whilst in the different locations, to experience rich culture. So you're not only experiencing the beauty of Africa and experiencing different things, our white sandy beaches, our amazing rainforests. Like if you're in Zimbabwe, for example, if you go to Nyanga, you've got amazing greenery. Like literally your mouth will just be watering when you go to Nyanga. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Or like if you go to wherever, like different parts, but then in the midst of all of it, you're also you're being like literally bombarded with rich culture. That's the one thing Australia doesn't have. That rich culture that we have as Africans, if whether you're in South Africa with the Zulus and the Sutus, the Costas, the whatnot, not the whatnot, sorry,
I feel like you just answered the first question like perfectly. That one about what does Africa actually have to offer. You kind of just stopped out just saying like the culture, because most other continents around the world or countries or whatever, they have quite a lot of the things that we have here. However, of course, our landscape but our culture cannot kind of like be replicated. We actually, that's something that we own, and is it even when you come to Nigeria, the extraness in our traditional weddings. When you go to South Africa, the way their vibe is like gangster. Burundi, Ghana, like there is a vibe that you can only get on the continent. So I feel like you just answered that first question again. So this though leads me to the next question, which is more from, this is like for every single person. Just keep it as brief as possible, but more from the perspective of like listing. So just like list like your 3 favorite things that only you feel like only Africa can offer. I feel like I already said one. Carol said it too.
Okay, Carol said it too. But
so do you have my question?
I got some small issues, like I couldn't hear you guys, but now I think it's working.
Okay. So my question was, what are your top 3 favorite things that only Africa has to offer?
Only Africa? You mean in Rwanda or in the whole Africa? Okay.
You can speak Rwanda, or you can just Africa as overall. Totally depends on you.
Okay. I like the fact that they keep the traditional up. Yeah, the culture. And I also like the union they put in the events, like different kind of events, the sharing, the love, like, yo. And also, what again? African party.
Hello.
That's so right. The party, the love, and the tradition. Thank you so much. That was like perfectly summed up. Thank you. So right now I'll go to.
Well, I was going to say party, because for me that is one of the main ones. I'm trying to crack my brain because I know that culture has been taken, and I'm trying to imagine like from videos, photographs I've taken from weddings. It's just an element of family. It's already been said, family, culture, party time. It's funny because when I see other people from other walks of life that visit Africa for okay, so this is one of my experiences. So the lady was okay. So I think she was a Zimbabwe lady. She was getting married to a Ghanaian guy, but the wedding was taking place in Ghana, and they brought all their friends from different walks of life to Ghana for the wedding. We were on the same plane, so when we were leaving London, going to Ghana, we said hi, hellos, but it was very, very cordial. When we now got to Ghana and they all experienced the wedding, the flight back was very animated. It was live. There were even people crying. There was a guy that was crying on the flight, and she was sitting behind me. And I was asking her, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" She's like, she wished the trip was longer than 4 days. Because she said when she was going, she didn't know what to expect. So maybe because she was fearful, she booked a very short flight. And now that everything is done, she regretted booking for 4 days only. Yeah. So I think for me, that kind of encompasses, the beauty and the essence of, African weddings on the continent. I know African weddings in Europe and America is a bit different because obviously there's certain restrictions. Because I know that there's certain venues in London now, if you're doing an African wedding, they have these monitors that monitor the sound. So if it goes over 8, they can turn off the music and stuff like that, just spoil the mood. Whereas in Africa, it's like it's a whole big massive party. I'll tell you what, this is how much I enjoy weddings in Ghana and Nigeria. Because sometimes you could be so bored and you'll be like, Saturday, what are we doing? Nothing. And my friend would be like, oh, they're doing a wedding up the road. Really on our road? They're like, yeah, okay, let's start getting dressed. We go to the party, we say hello to the bride and groom, congratulations, where's the bar? The bar's that way, and we party. And for me, that just sums up the essence of like weddings in Africa. Even in Ghana, sometimes they're doing it. I remember there was a day that they were doing a wedding again on our road, and the groom came and one of the groomsmen came and knocked on our door, and we opened and said, "What are you guys doing indoors?" No, we're just chilling. But there's a wedding outside. We're doing party there. You guys are indoors. Please get dressed and come and join us. That was it.
Yes. Can I just jump in there?
People to leave that wedding, by the way.
That happens in South Africa as well.
Really?
If you're hosting your traditional wedding, it's hosted in the street and everybody's invited.
Okay.
There's no, you can't come because you weren't invited, and because of that, if you live in the area, you are catered for. So our traditional weddings are.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Well, at a venue, then obviously it's different, but most of the time they host it at their homes. And when I say homes, they literally go back home, like to mom's place or to grand's house or wherever, and then the whole village is invited, and it's literally a big celebration. So it's quite interesting that it happens out there as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just don't understand how you put that in words.
Yeah, it's well, we have a word called Ubuntu, which means family, friendship.
Okay.
Everybody cares for everyone. It's community. Yeah, that's the word, community.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow. Wow. So will you say that one of your favorite things about this part is the fact that there is community?
Yes,
in terms of our weddings, yeah.
Definitely community with the entertainment again. Like I said earlier, no one does it the way we do it. And then another thing I will add is our weather is perfect. You do not get weather like this anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
I'd add that.
That's actually true. That's actually true. You're absolutely right. So our weather and our community plus the entertainment parts, and yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I think someone has not told me their top 3.
Sheila.
You haven't, yeah, Sheila, yeah.
Some shocking news. I've never been to a wedding before. However, I've observed so many weddings, more especially with the courtesy of working with Burundi Weds, just to go through what my particular culture looks like. You know what Abarundi Kazi do. And the 3 things for me that really stand out. One is the different step process. It's like a 7-step process to get married. It's not just, hey, bride, groom, boom, ring, woo, nice times. You know, there's the dowry day, you know, and there's the day the families meet. There's the actual wedding day. And I think I've seen this happen in South Africa as well, where there are different days to articulate different things within the wedding. That for me must be number 1. Number 2 is the food. My God, I'm waiting for this wedding so I can enjoy the food. And what to do it too. I know that they serve a variety of different cultured foods within a wedding. So say a Xhosa and a Zulu are getting married, that would encompass both types of cultures, foods there, you know, or maybe someone from Burundi, a Tutsi is getting married to a Congolese, which I haven't heard of as yet. But they would try and encompass both cultures in the mix. And I think for me, the one thing that unites us as Africans is food. Because I learned recently that there are different variants of pilau across the continent. So in Ghana and Nigeria, it's known as jollof. In Uganda and Burundi and the likes, it's known as pilau. I know that there's a particular dish in South Africa, I just don't know the name, but it's the same kind of dish, just prepared different, and for me, that for me is important. Food is important. The last thing is the dress code.
Oh, yeah.
Child, we were told that white weddings were the thing, and you need to wear that dress that flows, and it just needs to be so dramatized in that fashion. And I don't think I really pictured or envisioned a African wedding until I started seeing the traditional wear. And the first one that I was exposed to was the Nigerian culture. Oh my goodness. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Different types of textures, different types of hats, different types of clothing in itself. And for me, that is just very significant of the culture as well. It just shows you who the people are, and their food and clothes, and the way they greet each other. That's the last thing. I'm going to add number 4, the vibe. The vibe is amazing. And I feel like Abby did explain, I feel like Zenoba did explain as well, that everybody's invited, come through vibe, that just that unity and that Ubuntu is really important for me.
That's awesome.
Wow. So I think we have just Carol. I would have said my own, but now I just feel like everybody has said everything. But I'll just try and dig up any other thing that comes to mind after everybody has finished speaking. So Carol, your turn.
I think really everyone's kind of said it. Hey, like in terms of, yeah, everyone's pretty much said it. The party, the enjoyment factor, it's just amazing. And I think I would just like to give a massive shout out. To be honest, I think we need to just give public respect to you. I'll say to you, I guess, Mercy, on behalf of Nigeria, to Nigeria, really, because honestly speaking, you have no idea how, especially obviously, it would really be Bella Niger platform primarily has so sold to us the beauty of African weddings. Yeah. In terms of, like when you're speaking about attire there, about Aswebi, I'm sure that's what you really were speaking about. We to be honest with you, it used to just be about wearing, what's dress can you get from Louis Vuitton? What can you get from, it's like it was all about glamorizing all these. And I remember like 10 years ago, my sister got married to a Nigerian. Hello. So, I remember when they came to Zimbabwe for their wedding, like, so, Nigerians, they go big or they go, you understand? So they all flew extra. So they all came in, right? So they all came in. So, like in Zimbabwe, our traditional, our Rora, we call it Lobola or Rora, right? It's pretty small. Like it's just in the house. It's nothing massive or anything like that. But here they are, all 30 of them that have flown in. They all came and they wanted to be a part of this Lobola. Do you understand? And they came in there as your B, they came all dressed, and here in Zim, we just put on our, and we just wrap a thing around our waist and that's it. Do you understand? But then now when we saw these people arrive, we were scratching heads like, okay, guys, what's in the wardrobe? Because at the time, this is like 10 years ago, we didn't really have the internet as big as it is, I guess, now. Yeah. And so we had no idea that Nigerians, when they hear traditional wedding, they come with their face beat. That's why I was like, whenever I know I'm going to be in somewhere with a Nigerian woman, I'm like, please, because, they came and they came to make it their presence known that we are here. Do you understand? So they brought their culture with them. And I guess the point that I'm getting at is that Nigeria is so rich in culture. They're so proud of their culture that it's like, it's actually really influenced. Like literally, I remember we had my sister's Lobola or like Rora traditional about 4 days before the white, because they tried to do it all in the same week. So I had 4 days, but literally after that traditional, everyone started looking for outfits. Do you understand? Because we're like, we can't be showing up in these, Western clothes and all this. We were so challenged, and then now time actually seeing that this is the norm in terms of Nigerians are just generally go big, go home. And it's like now, as Zimbabwe, for example, we've also gotten to a place where we're like, okay, guys, seriously, what is really like in terms of our culture? We were colonized for so long. Unfortunately, we kind of became so we've been so challenged to really kind of now rediscover who we are and rediscover so that at least now, because now there's a lot of Niger Zim collabos, Ghanaian Zim collabos. We have a lot of intercultural marriages. Do you understand? So now we don't want to be embarrassed when we go for those weddings. We want to also go in with some sense of culture, and a lot of times we are guilty of showing up in South African attire, and the South Africans are like, guys, that's our. If I were like, guys, we don't have anything to show, but we're still learning, But so I just wanted to say thank you so much, Niger, for really glamorizing and really putting to the forefront what African weddings are, and making us so proud, giving us a desire to be proud of our own heritage and to put it in the forefront. It's just made it. So I just wanted to add that little 2 cents.
Thank you so much. Honestly, like I feel like everybody has said everything, and you are all absolutely right, because our culture, I'm now speaking as a Nigerian and also someone who also understands our Nigerian culture. We're crazy about it. It's like we carry it on our head. We have different ceremonies, from the introduction where the groom's family will come and meet the bride's family. We have the tribe. Every single ceremony, we come prepared. Like we actually saw the whole Ashwebi works. I'm sure I feel like people like you.
Ain't no party like a Lagos party.
Lagos party is like extra. Like we will carry the gele on our head. Like, so if you are married, if you're like a Yoruba lady marrying like an Igbo guy, on your wedding, you will still change into 2 outfits. You will about dance out with maybe I think with your with your Yoruba one, like, oh, as per Yoruba bride. Then you now come back again and dance out as an Igbo bride, like, oh, now I'm married. Like, we are that extra. Like, but honestly, like, it ties perfectly into what Carol said. Like, we are crazy about our culture. We carry it on our head. I would say the culture, the food for me, like our food, like, at least I have tasted Ghana food. I have tasted different parts of the continent. Like that. So our food, we can't get it anywhere. Like even, okay, of course, maybe when you travel to other parts of the continent, but outside the continent, and you go to like traditional African restaurant, you can kind of still like taste it. However, like in Africa, we have our food, our culture, our looks are like crazy. Like the way our outfit and attire, the traditional attire actually look. And I'm actually kind of happy with the trend and I'm noticing, which has been around for a very long time. Like wedding vendors actually stepping up their game like crazy. Like from white wedding dresses to like makeup beats, like. The game has just elevated. Like you can literally bring an African wedding vendor and a foreign, someone from outside Africa, and you are like, sorry, like what's the difference again? Like the face beat mastery has evolved. Photography, pictures you see, you would actually prefer like whenever I like put up like content on our platform, I usually love the way the African photographers actually document weddings. It's colorful, it's sharp, it's like there's a vibrancy. You can feel like you were actually at the wedding. I'm not trying to knock like international photography. However, like I've noticed that when it comes to like capturing like traditional African wedding events, you'd see a difference. Maybe it's the tone or something. I don't know. I think Abby understands it a lot better than me. Maybe it's the tone of the pictures, but our vendors are not from here. Like it's like that extra level, advancement is something I really, really love. So I feel like it's the right time to jump into the next question, which is, what do you think the diaspora bride to be and groom to be is looking for as far as searching for wedding vendors from the continent? So this question is majorly for a bride and a groom, or rather a bride to be and a groom to be who is outside the continent, who actually wants to get married on the continent, but is like super, 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 super confused. Like, what do I search for? What do I look out for when it comes to like searching for the right wedding vendors? I would actually, I want Sheila to pick up this first, and then I would then go to Sandrine, and then I would stop at Zenobia. Yeah, in that format. Thank you.
Alrighty, so just to clarify a question, bride and groom outside the continent trying to get married within the continent, what are they looking for?
Yes.
I think
When it
what
comes
would
to
bring them
wedding,
home?
when it comes to searching for a wedding, like searching for the right wedding vendor.
Or how are they to look for it?
Okay,
Okay.
so more like they want to work with wedding vendors on the continent without having to import every single person from outside the continent. So like what should they watch out for? So this question is actually directed to for like brides to be and grooms to be, but also wedding vendors, how do they position themselves better in terms of like attract?
Okay, so I think the one thing that we should note is if they're in the diaspora, then they have everything that's international. They would be looking for home, basically. And the one platform that I've seen that is infamous for advertising this is Instagram. Instagram has been used as a platform to highly publicize a lot of businesses. And I feel as though that's where vendors are to position themselves. You need to have a popping Instagram page. Show me your work. Show me what you're doing. As somebody who is not at home and I want to connect back to my home, show me pictures, show me videos of what that looks like. Another thing that I think we really need to be cognizant of, and this might not be a primary step, but very much so a secondary step, where you have word of mouth as your best form of marketing. See, Bella Niger, I know, and I've never been to a wedding. You know what I mean? Best form of marketing is word of mouth. So if you are to offer services to people out there, it's about making sure as a vendor that you perfect what you are giving out. I had a conversation with a Little Miss Planner. They're based in Uganda and they handle weddings from the onset to the last step of the wedding. And they're specifically based in Uganda. And what I love about it is that they are so careful with each and every step, and they introduce and they innovate things like DIY setups, and that service given out correctly makes Shayla go say to her friend, oh, guess what? I used this first, and as a vendor, as somebody who puts a product line out there, you need to make sure that your client base is, first of all, happy, and second of all, can see you. So you would use all forms of digital software and basically networks to advertise what you're doing. I know this might sound crazy, but TikTok is a good place to go. TikTok is booming now. I don't know how to use it, but it's actually something that people are using. YouTube, I see that people post like an hour and 30 minutes of a wedding. I wouldn't go and do that. Show me the snippets that matter as a vendor. If that is your craft and your work, show me what matters. We all know that people use they have like different concentration spans, and we can't really rely on 1 hour to sell the product. So learn how to sell your product in very small bits, bite-sized information. And if you can do that in the correct spaces, I believe that those who are searching for you will find you. I think that for me is important for you to be able to use visual aesthetics, one, to sell it in bite-sized chunks. Don't give me 2 hours of a wedding. I'm not going to watch it. That's just the honest truth. Give me a 30-second clip where you display certain things that matter and fixate on one thing, like one video, one thought type of thing. And I think if you can do that, then people in the diaspora will find you. And also, the last thing I think is when you're looking at the visual aesthetics, make sure that they're punchy, because you said something, Mercy, that really caught my attention, that there's a difference between the pictures that you would take abroad as compared to that in Africa. The African ones are more colorful. There's more of a colorful display. Use that to your advantage, and just show Africa through a visual aesthetic. I think that is the best sell at this point.
Okay, I think she's disappeared. So she mentioned, who did she mention next?
It was supposed to be.
She's back.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go next. So Shayla did mention on the portfolio. I think that's the biggest thing. What guys are looking for is your portfolio. Are you offering them what they are looking for? Because that's how they're going to contact you in the first place. They're looking at your website, they're looking at your Instagram, and are they liking what they see? So that's like the first thing that needs to pop in your client's face, or your ideal client's face, is like, do they want to see this, and is this what you want to put out there? I think the best question is this what you want to put out there? Are you happy with putting this type of work out there as well? So you need to be happy with what you're doing, and like, yes, I will hire myself if I'm going to put this out there. So that's the biggest thing. And this is what Instagram is about, is a visual representation of you and of your business. So if you can get that right, you're going to get the type of client you want. I don't use TikTok, so I have no idea what to do there, but I'm going to go Google and let's see if it works. But I know a proper portfolio is the best way to attract your international clients. From my point of view, that's the only thing that I think attracts my clients from overseas is they look at my portfolio and the first thing is they say, "Oh, I like what you do," and I'm like, "Of course, yes. That's why you came in. That's why you emailed me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here." Right? But obviously not to be that blasé about it, but that's the thing. If you're getting it right, to not just do what you love, but to show what you love, then you're going to bring in the clients. I think that's the most important. And then the other thing that I just want to add on is what clients are looking for when it comes to vendors. It's reliability. Are they going to do what they say they can do? Can they deliver on what I want? So yes, your Instagram looks perfect and your website is beautiful. But at the end of the day, it is your performance that matters. And like Shayla said, word of mouth goes a long way. If you are not going to perform during the process and on the day of the wedding, you can just forget about it.
That's so true. So I thought I mentioned that Tanzania was going to come in here.
Yeah. So about it, I think the first way to get like some vendors is through social media. Social media, like you can get anything you want from there, and through social media you may have like some multiple choices of vendors. So you just have your time to pick which one you want, which one fit your style, like things like that. And I also think they can get also vendors to consultation from event planners. Wedding planners. Yeah. And also around among friends, recommendation. Yeah, that's what I think.
So true. So recommended. Okay, Abby, do you want to add before I wrap up that?
Okay, I want to have a different perspective here. Being a photographer and someone that does online marketing, the perspective I want to add is this. As a photographer that works in Africa, the way I see it is I don't try and market my brand to Nigerians in the diaspora. And the reason why I don't do that is I know that as long as I'm promoting, when they're doing the searches, potentially they will find me amongst other vendors. And the reason why they will find me is that obviously because they are, say for example, Nigerian or Ghanaians living outside of their countries, they know that when they're ready to get married, they will look for vendors in their countries anyway. So the chances of them finding me is maybe 10%, which is good enough for me. Now, my strategy, and part of the reason why I said that this whole discussion was very perfect, is that we now need to start thinking outside of that. And part of that is when you look at all the trends and all the hashtags and everything that's been going on in the last, say, 8-10 months, even beyond that, you will notice that there is a market that we're not tapping into, especially for vendors on the continent. And I'll give you an example. When you look at Europeans coming to get married in Africa, where are they going? The country that's taking a very large percentage of that is Gambia. So the European market, Gambia is in controlling it. And Gambia is a very small nation. Kudos to them for doing that. Now, moving away from the European market, let's look at others. We have a very large percentage of African American, African Caribbeans, people of different walks of life who have ancestry in Africa. But when they want to get married, they are going to Mexico is a new destination now. Italy is another one. Cyprus. I just got back from one of the biggest weddings between a Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean that took place in Cyprus. Oh my God. That wedding was crazy. They literally we were on the news because of all the African wear and attire. Anyway, I regress. So the point I'm trying to make is we now need to start thinking that how do we market outside of what we call our normal target audience? Because when you look at the trends now, you see a lot of Zimbabweans, a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians, and are going to different regions to get married. They're going to Dubai now. They're going to Mexico to get married. And the thing I find is that the reason why they're not considering different parts of Africa is because nobody's marketing to them. Because we're just marketing to. So if you are a Zambian vendor in Zambia, you will market to the Zambians outside of Zambia, but you won't necessarily market to Nigerians. You see, so it's not. And I think I love the way that Carol put it, the perspective of when you're living in Australia and how they perceive things, and I think in larger picture of that, I think it's very important now as a vendor or brand or organization on the African continent that we need to start having these dialogues with our governmental bodies who hold these data. Because if I ask anyone here, and even the vendors that are listening to us, how many weddings take place in your region? We don't know. The reason why we don't know is because we are not talking to these governmental bodies to get this information. Because think about it this way. If there is, let's say, for example, now, Lagos, let's say in one given year, there's 100,000 weddings and 50,000 of these weddings are brides coming in from New Jersey. Then that gives you an idea that, okay, I need to start targeting New Jersey. That's part of my advert. One of the things we need to do as vendors, as a collective of vendors, as a collective or organization collective, is that we need to start engaging in our governmental bodies to get information from them for us to start making more informed decisions and start looking at strategies that we can implement so that we can now start getting all these Africans that are going to, I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but look at what Africans can offer. It's amazing. I mean, Ghana alone, I can only talk for West Africa because that's where I've shot a lot of weddings at. But Ghana has a lot to offer. I'm talking about you can go to Akosombo or on the Lake Volta and get married. You can go into Ebri and go and get married on the mountain. Even Accra now has got so many wedding venues that you can get married at. And they're coming to Lagos is, I can't even talk for the whole of Nigeria, but just Lagos alone has got so much to offer. And then the beauty about it is that between Lagos and Ivory Coast, they've got a motorway that's just been constructed to the point now that you can literally say, I want to do my traditional in Cotonou, I'm going to do something in Togo, and I'm going to do something in Ghana. And then during that same weekend, everybody can make their way back to Lagos without any traveling issues. So these are some of the things that we need to start processes and doing, but we need to get our body, our governmental and our institutions involved to make it more seamless.
Yeah. So the need for data and, all that coming together. You're so right. I actually feel like it would be great to move to the next question straight up, majorly from the perspective, so we can all have like a very coordinated, should I say coordinated conversation in a way that our audience would actually also be able to learn from all our entire experiences combined. So yes, thank you so much, Abby, for that. This part would be, I think, targeted to every single person, but more like in a very brief way. What would you like to see more from Africa? This one. Okay. Yeah, so the question is, what would you like to see more of from African wedding vendors? I feel like we kind of cover this in like bits and bits from the social media conversation and, marketing yourself well, but I'll give everybody like a few seconds to just say one thing each. You can say yours and somebody else. So I'll start from Carol.
Hey. Okay. So I think, to be honest, I'm actually going to go back to the social media. Why? But I'm going to tackle it from a different angle. Because for myself, for example, like when I started Classes in Weddings, the whole purpose behind it was because I was so grieved by the fact that a lot of our brides, like Zimbabwean brides, were getting married now. I was finding myself planning a lot of weddings in Australia for Zimbabweans. And I was like, why aren't you taking that $50,000 home and spending it at home with family? You don't want to do it here. So why are you doing it? But then it was because the information wasn't just readily available. And then on top of it, the little that was there online made us look like, as a Zimbabwean wedding industry, like we're struggling. You're like scrolling through your feed and, you've got these glamorous Nigerian weddings. Then you've got the Kente brides from Ghana. You've got all these amazing, weddings that you're seeing. And it's all to do largely with the point that Mercy also made with respects to photography, this stunning photography skills, really. But then now, as I'm scrolling down my feed and then I see a Zimbabwean wedding, I'm like, hey, what? I would rather just get married, use my $30,000, $50,000, spend it in Australia. So I tend to find that obviously social media to that extent, that's why I'm going back to it. However, I'm coming back to it from an angle of what do they need to do? It's one thing to say to vendors, have online presence, marketing, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of them are doing it, but they're doing a really shoddy job of it. Do you know what I mean? Like in the sense of, you don't need, my message now would be more to our service providers, our vendors. No one expects you to be a jack of all trades. Every successful business, when you look back to traditional marketing, back in the day, they would have a marketing budget. And in that marketing budget, like, ads on radio, ads on TV, etc. If you're serious about progressing your business, you must have a marketing budget. Okay, as part of that marketing budget, you're going to look at probably hiring a social media manager. A social media manager will know exactly what to do to optimize your page so that it's going to be attractive to the greater worldwide audience. So, the global audience, which is very, very important. They'll be able to look at the sort of images that you're putting forward and almost like screen them, like for CZW, for Classes in Weddings. They get a lot of images sent through. You can tell that this is such an amazing wedding, yeah? But then you can tell, you have to kind of look for the amazingness because the picture was just so badly taken. You know what I mean? So I remember when I first started the page, one of the things I used to always emphasize on was hire a great photographer. Because no matter how bad your wedding is, you can have a wedding like in the poorest village in Africa. But that photographer will make it look like you just had it in, because that's the power of photography. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I guess it's a case of each wedding vendor. If you're a caterer, yes, okay, fine, you might be a caterer, great. But then how that food looks on social media will determine if actually someone's going to hire you, because a lot of these people are hiring you. They're looking at the pictures of the food. You know what I mean? And so I guess I would like to just take it to that in the sense of don't try to be a jack of all trades. Don't try to be your own social. Don't be greedy with, if you're going to charge $100. Out of that $100, know that 20 of it is going to go towards marketing. Do you understand? Have a marketing budget, put it towards that.
Thank you so much, Carol. So the marketing part, but majorly from the social media, how you kind of like design the way your social media looks. But a lot of times it comes to do with you actually also investing in spending, investing in marketing spend for your, service or products as a wedding vendor. Thank you so much for that. Okay.
I'm actually going to hop onto Abby's train. He spoke about government. I wouldn't know how to tap into that particularly, but I feel like network really speaks great volumes when you look at business in any sphere. If you're trying to grow an industry, it is the network in which you attach yourself to that will further the industry upward. And I feel as though, given the conversation we've just had, we've noted, yes, there are beautiful possibilities in Africa, but we need to publicize that. We need to make sure that it gets there. We need people to know. But people won't know if we stay in our cocoons. So we need to network. If you are a caterer, it harms you not to partner with somebody who handles the trinkets of a wedding, It harms you not to partner up with this particular type of photographer. I think the other thing is in business, I'm not too sure what the wedding industry looks like across the continent, but I've seen there's a tension around partnering. It's like, you're going to do what I'm doing. Let's not do it together, which doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, you can cater for one space and I can cater for the other. Remember, there are different cultures that we're catering to. There are different the offerings that we have, and yes, you will have a multitude of photographers who do one thing, take pictures, but then we also need to understand that where the photographer is based is also, so I feel like the network needs to grow. Do not be scared to partner up. Do not be scared to use somebody else's services where it suits best. And I think this ties in really well with what Carol was saying about actually getting the job done right. She was speaking specifically to marketing. I think across all boards, when the job is done right, it sells itself. This is why word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing. Because the job well done will sell itself. You don't need to 1,000 times that it's done well. It was done well. So I feel as though when you have the right network, and that network is really starting to become more affluent, then you will start to see vendors within the continent prosper. I think that for me is, network is really important.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Very, very true. So the government part, more like what I'm hearing is more of like collaboration, but at the same time, like do a fantastic job that your job sells itself. So like just having like referrals, people like telling other people about what you did. So so the core of what you said is be a slam wedding vendor, and your work will sell itself. But at the same time, collaborate with different people, kind of like collaboration over competition. That's like what you're actually saying. So really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so Zenobia, then we go to Abby and we wrap up.
I was gonna say what Sheila actually said. Collaboration. We cannot do this alone. As a wedding planner, I can't work alone. I can't work without the photographer, without the florist, without the venue. We all need to collaborate and make everything a success. And because we're talking in the context of Africa, what if my client wants to get married in Nigeria? Then I can call on Mercy and like, hey, listen, I'm going to need your assistance, and vice versa. And without that, we're going to stay where we are. Then clients are going to go to Mexico or to France or to Italy, Bali, Thailand, wherever, and skip us completely. So without the collaboration, we can just as well say, okay, bye-bye weddings. That's basically what's going to happen if we don't work together. And there's this thing where I don't know if it's the same in the rest of Africa, but I know in South Africa specifically, wedding planners don't like collaborating with other wedding planners. And that's, to me, I don't get. I really, really don't understand. Because I've worked with other wedding planners and we've made it work, and we still get business for each other as well. So if I can say it again, just collaborate. That's the best way we're going to get Africa on the map. There we are. She's back. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
On mute.
Sorry. I mean, the pretty much everything I wanted to say. So I think what I'll just do is I'll just mention, online education as an additional on top of that, because one of the things I find is for you to say you want to hire a social media manager, because I'm a social media manager, and I also train people in social media. One of the things I notice that businesses struggle with is the fact that because they don't understand some of the principles of social media, they struggle with communicating it to a digital marketer or social media manager. So I think the one thing I'll just add on at this specific time is, even though you don't want to be a jack of all trades, you want to have the basic knowledge so you can communicate across to all these different social media channels or brands or whatnot, what you need for your business so that they don't go in the opposite tangent. So I would say it's very important, no matter at what stage you are in business, to always get information, get knowledge, always updating yourself and understand what is new, what's trending in the market, so you can stay on top of the game.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you so much. I feel like just to add to that, to what everybody has shared, I would just say, kind of talk back to what Kara said about investing in marketing. So I'm speaking now as someone who works at Bella Nigeria Weddings and who has been doing this for a while. And I know that in the industry, we've been around for a very long time. But one thing that I like to advise wedding vendors is we editorially feature a lot of content. However, we also have the advertorial, and I feel like it's almost similar to what Burundi Weddings has, and also what Ghana Weddings have, and also what Classism Weddings also have. Invest in paying money for adverts on these platforms that are either in your location. So, for example, Bella Nigeria Weddings has a remarkable reach around the continent and also outside the continent. However, Burundi Weddings has their own regional strengths, their own strengths also, and also Classism Weddings, also kind of similar to East Africa wedding brides, East Africa brides, and also Ghana Weddings. But however, these platforms, they are way stronger than if you just put up a picture or a video of your product or service on your own personal Instagram page. If you invest in paying for ads on these platforms, it takes your brand to a totally different level. So I'm always excited whenever we have people actually invest in paying for ads on platforms like this, because they show that they're actually serious and committed to blowing up their company on a totally different scale. And a lot of times when you invest by running ads on these platforms, you always get your reward back in different ways. Especially if you work closely with the digital media wedding company, and they maybe offer advice and say, oh, why don't you do the IGTV instead of the regular timeline? Why don't you do Insta story? So leveraging on the knowledge of brands like this, like us, everybody here, Ghana Weddings and Zim Weddings and Burundi Weddings and also Rwanda Weddings, platforms like these will take your brand to a different level. So just invest in stuff like this. I think that's one thing I would add. Yes. So I'll just wrap up with this one question and we will just close up. I feel like we've taken a few minutes extra. However, this session has been so interesting. People have been staying, people came and they've been around till the end. So thank you so much for everybody watching. We're very, very happy to have you here. Thank you. Thank you. So this last question is directed to every single person. But we're going to make it as a bite-sized answer type of thing. So you're just going to say one thing. Don't explain. Don't say anything. Just say one thing. So this is for every single person. So the question is, what would you like to see more of from Africa, from African wedding vendors? So just list one thing. So you might have to take a few seconds to think about it, but it's just Tell me one thing. Do not explain nothing. Just say one thing. So the question again, what would you like to see more of from African wedding vendors? I'm going to start with Cara. I feel like she has it all under control.
I was trying to think of one thing. But the first thing really that came to mind is Africa Unite. I'd like to see our service providers, all our wedding pages, everyone that claims or says that they're passionate about African weddings or or Africa as a whole, unite. Unity of purpose.
One word, unity. That's all. Just one. Just one word. But I feel like you nailed it. You already said it. Don't explain. So this is for every single person, every other person. Do not explain. Just say your one word. So Carol, thank you very much. One word, unity. So
Collaborate.
nice. Okay, Abby.
Purpose.
Abby, what did you say?
Purpose.
Nice. And now Sheila.
Meticulous work.
That was too good, but that was good. That was good. That was good. Oh. I think I asked the question too fast that my own answer has left my head. I would say excellence. Yeah, excellence. So I don't want to explain my own answer, so I don't say what I don't want to say. But I feel like being the host and the moderator for this session, I can cheat by adding one last question, and I'll do like a bonus question. And this is for every single person. What's one sentence do you like? In one sentence, what would your dream of the African continent when it comes to weddings and honeymoon? Like, what is your dream for the continent? Is it raking in money? Okay, sorry, I think I'm already giving you. Sorry, I'll keep on quiet. But yeah, so one sentence, and I'll start with. Or does anybody want to start? So somebody else does not take the answer. Carol. I said Carol. Okay, so Carol.
Okay, I think I said mine earlier, really, and I think it's the same thing. Like it's just that one core thing. I'm just trying to think of it in one sentence. I'll put a few commas. But my dream is an industry without borders, where we. Okay, I'm finished. But yes, an industry, without borders, an industry whereby where we embrace each of our respective cultures, what we have to offer, and we put it into we all put it into that pool that is the African wedding and tourism industry as a whole, and we have a pride about it. We have a sense of pride with respect to it. That's my dream, where brides can just go from the south of Africa for their proposal to the north for their, whatever, for their wedding, and then their honeymoon on the west or the east, but just one Africa without borders.
Thank you so much, Carol. That was so detailed. I feel like some other people would just be like, oh my God, why did she speak first? Like, you kind of like stole a lot of people's points. But thank you. She did, Abby, right? Thank you so much, Carol. That was well articulated. Thank you. So, Zeno.
Oh, wow. How do I top what Carol said? My dream for Africa and the wedding industry, it's just to make us known, to have our presence known, and that's where I'll leave it.
That's so deep. Thank you so much. That was so profound. Thank you. So I would ask, I'll repeat the question again to Sandrine. However, let me have Abby say his own first, and then we'll go to Sheila, and then I'll.
I mean, to be honest with you, Carol said it perfectly. I don't even think I want to add anything to that. But the only thing I do want to add from an economical point of view is to have a body or a network that has stronger negotiating power, because that will impact our all our economies collectively. Because if we have a network where we can say to either organizations or companies, whatever, that for this period we want to buy this from you, and we're going to negotiate the price. Because people tend to take advantage of the fact that we're not united. So, as Carol mentioned, that unity in purpose will bring more economic prosperity.
Love it.
Really, really, really true. Really true. And that's amen, actually. Someone said amen. That's so true. Thank you. So now, Sheila.
For me, I would love to see an industry that reflects Africa's true richness. Like fully expressed. Let us know about the areas in which we can go to. Let it not be a thing where I need to think 10 minutes where my next African destination should be. Let me just know it at the tip of my head. Let it not be the tourist attraction sites that everybody knows. So I'd really love to see an industry that has. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up there.
Anna?
Sheila, are you okay? I feel like your network might have frozen a tiny bit. Okay. I think her network froze a tiny bit. Okay. So I would since Sandrine is not here. So basically I feel like mine would definitely be kind of Africa that just keeps blossoming and shining and reaping all its reward in coins. Okay, maybe not like coins, figuratively, like, like money, from the sense of the fact that, as people come to get married here, as we get married here, the industry is like booming and we are all making money in our different spaces. I feel like that would be a dream, not just people coming and going, but, people spending a lot of money. So more like the industry being a lot more financially viable as it is right now. Right now, it's doing amazing, especially in Nigeria. However, like a lot more money can also be gotten in the industry when it comes to Africa. So yeah, so that's mine. I feel like this would be a great time to end. I want to say thank you to every single person that joined and waited, because I was just looking at the people, the number of people, like it feels like every single person that joined has been here from the beginning to the end. So yeah, so thank you very much for that. It means that you love what we're saying as much as we love dishing it out to you. Thank you so much to the East African Wedding Show team, from Brenda and every single person, every single member of the team. Big ups. I really wish I was in Kigali this year. I was there last year and it was amazing. So this virtual edition was actually such a very brilliantly well put together one. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, majorly, most importantly, to the members of this panel. I felt like you guys, like, your honesty and your chilled vibe brought in all the the messages and the experience is a lot more fluid. Like, you just brought it out so calmly. So thank you so much to Abby, to Carol, to Zenobia, to Sheila, to Sandrine. And honestly, this was really, really beautiful. And please, one thing I want to add before I leave is feel free to reach out to every single one of us on our various social media platforms. Abby has pretty much like multiple photography by Abby, and also Ghana weddings, then classy Zim weddings. Please reach out to Carol also there. And also, I need to get this very right, and also Blue Olive Events. That's for Zenobia. Please reach out to her there also. For Burundi weds, that would be Sheila. For Rwanda weddings, that would be Sandrine. For me, that would be Bella Ninja weddings. If you feel like you need to work with any of us, or you need to just have conversations with us about how to promote what you're doing better, or even as a bride to be or groom to be, who you're like, I want my outfit, or I want my wedding to be to be put on any of these platforms, or I want to work with this planner or have this photographer, please feel free to reach out to every single one of us that you would prefer. Thank you so much again to the amazing host of this entire event, and this has been awesome. So from Lagos, I think No, should I bring in the Lagos one? I was gonna say bye in like Yoruba, but I think I'll just say bye in English. I'll just say, what's bye in Yoruba? Oh my god, I feel like I forgot what bye in Yoruba.
Bravo.
Oh, Dabo, thank you so much, Abby. Oh, goodness. So from Lagos, Nigeria, I'm saying Odabo to every single person. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
See you later.
Bye. I don't even know how to get out. How do I get out?
I think we click go backstage.